I'm not doing no cuts. I am not doing no edits. I just watched the new Mortal Kombat 2 movie, and I am going to review this movie as a fan. So I am viewing this movie from a perspective as a Mortal Kombat fan. So if you are a Mortal Kombat fan, you know that another Mortal Kombat fan reviewed this movie and kind of gave you their true thoughts. If you're somebody who hasn't engaged with Mortal Kombat a lot and you're trying to decide if this movie is for you, I'll probably touch on that a bit, so it will be a helpful review for you. We'll start with non-spoilers, and when I'm getting into spoilers, I'll let you guys know. So let's talk about this movie. This movie, I think, is dramatically better than the first movie. I think it does a lot of things well. This movie feels like kind of an apology for the first movie. There's so many references in this movie that refer to some of the Mortal Kombat things, whether that's stages, whether it's that moves, lines, whatever. There's so many references nestled into this movie that if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, you will really appreciate a lot of the things that happen. And I think its biggest strength is also its biggest weakness, right? If you're a Mortal Kombat fan, you basically understand what's happening, right? Shao Kahn has won 9 tournaments in a row, and once you win the 10th tournament, you take over that specific realm. He took over Edenia, and now he's trying to do the same thing with Earthrealm, right? If you're a Mortal Kombat fan, that's not really anything new. And if you're a casual, you'll be able to understand that point pretty easy. What gets confusing, and why I say I think that is this game's or this movie's biggest strength and biggest weakness, is that there's some things in here that they don't really explain well. So if you don't know a particular character, you don't really learn much about that character. Quan Chi's an example. We see him in the trailers. We know he's in a movie. I don't think they do a great job of explaining a lot of these characters, who they are and what they do. And I feel like the movie kind of suffers a bit story-wise because the characters don't feel like they're fully developed. But at the same time, I don't think that's this movie's goal. I don't think this movie is really made for people to introduce them to some sort of Mortal Kombat thing. They tried that with the first movie, right? They tried to introduce and kind of showcase a lot of these things. And this movie kind of continues and builds on that. So if you're coming into Mortal Kombat 2, you kind of need to know some of the basic Mortal Kombat stuff. And I know people's response to that, well, just watch the first movie. Well, the first movie didn't really do a great job of it either. But I don't think that's primarily their focus. I think their focus with this movie is they just wanted to make a cool Mortal Kombat movie with great fights. And that brings me to the best part of this movie. The fight scenes in this movie are absolutely incredible. We'll talk about it more in the spoiler section when we get to it. But the fight scenes in this movie are absolutely incredible. They are shot extremely well. Like I said before, there's so many small references from other Mortal Kombat pieces of media that it just, I don't know, bro. It just, as a fan, to watch some of that stuff that I've grown up seeing in these video games being brought to like life, it just felt great. And it's beautiful, just beautiful editing work, right? Some of the effects on some of these characters they look so much better. If you talk, bro, the jump from this movie, from the first movie to this movie is absolutely insane. A lot of the boss fights are done extremely well. The actors whoever was the actor for Shao Kahn, perfect Shao Kahn. He does a fantastic job. We've seen a lot of these actors are coming back. So let's talk about Carl Urban, because he's the newest actor being introduced in this film. He's playing Johnny Cage. When I first heard this casting, I personally wasn't a big fan of it. I just always viewed him as the perfect Kano. And he has the look of Kano. I feel like his personality would fit well with Kano. But I'm happy to say I was kind of wrong about his interpretation of Johnny Cage. I think he did a really great job. My biggest problem with his casting is he's kind of like an older guy, right? And we know Johnny Cage kind of looks a bit younger in the early MKs, but they go off this story that he's like an older Johnny Cage. Obviously, he's retired and blah, blah, blah. He's not really making movies no more. And he plays that character. He plays a great asshole, snarky ass Johnny Cage. He does it well. He does a great job in the role of Johnny Cage. You feel the snarkiness, you feel the just cocky, dumbass shenanigans of Johnny Cage. He does a great job in this film as Johnny Cage. So I'm happy to report that I was pretty wrong about that casting, and I thought he did a great job. But I would say if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, this movie is absolutely worth to watch. You'll watch this movie, you'll notice a lot of the references, you'll get excited about a lot of the characters that show up. The fights will be absolutely incredible. If you are a Mortal Kombat fan, I cannot recommend this movie enough. If you're coming into this movie thinking you're gonna get just the same thing you got in the first movie, it is not. It is drastically different from what you saw in the first movie. Everything is vastly improved. They took all the criticisms that people had of the first movie and they made sure that they addressed every single one. And I think they do a great job. If you're not a Mortal Kombat fan, I think this movie is going to be really hard for you to get into. And I think some of the reviews kind of showcase that. And as I read the reviews of the movie, you can tell who reviewed the movie that's not really in touch with the Mortal Kombat like series, because I don't think this is a great movie for people who don't really interact with Mortal Kombat media. I think you'll be confused by what's happening. You'll be confused by some of these characters that are showing up. You'll be like, who's doing this? Who's doing that? And I think this won't be a great experience for you. Even if you watch the first movie, I still don't think this will be a great movie for people who aren't Mortal Kombat fans. It seems like their goal with this movie was they wanted to touch Mortal Kombat fans. They wanted people who love Mortal Kombat to understand and to see that they actually give a fuck about this IP. And they wanted to make this movie something that the fans of the series like. They're not trying to get new people really into this movie. They don't really care about that. They want to make Mortal Kombat fans happy. And as a Mortal Kombat fan, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think that's going to summarize my non-spoiler review. So I'm going to start talking about spoilers in 3, 2, 1. It's spoiler time. My biggest criticism and what I couldn't say in the spoiler-free review is it's a problem that extends past this movie. And it's that Mortal Kombat media lately hasn't really been treating Liu Kang like he's the main character. Liu Kang, especially in the early Mortal Kombat games, is without a shadow of a doubt the main character. And it feels like as time has progressed, we've kind of steered away from that. And I don't love it in this movie. The main characters of this movie, obviously Johnny Cage, he has the same dilemma in Mortal Kombat media at first, where he's like, I'm just an actor. I don't really want to participate in this tournament. And Katana, obviously, Shao Kahn comes in, kills her dad, conquers Edenia. And it feels like Liu Kang takes a lot of back seat in this movie. And they try to alleviate that problem by being like, hey, Liu Kang is strong as hell. In a lot of Liu Kang's fights, he don't really lose. He doesn't really lose any of his fights until the very final fight. And the way he loses is, Shao Kahn is like, he immortal. He can't die. So they do their best to kind of hike Liu Kang up as like, he's the strongest, right? By far. But I think a lot of times the problem that has been happening with Mortal Kombat media is we portray Liu Kang as like very strong, but why isn't he beating the main characters in the story? So he is not the one to beat Shao Kahn in the story. Katana is the one that beats Shao Kahn. And I don't necessarily have a problem with that, because you get the story of her getting this redemption where she's like, okay, like, he conquered my people and stuff like that, and I'm the one that kills him. But it just feels, I don't know, it's just like Liu Kang feels like he's taking a back seat in a lot of these, like a recent Mortal Kombat stuff, and it's just like, he is the damn main character. Also, don't love how Baraka is portrayed in this movie. Honestly, prior to MK like 1, Baraka didn't really have much going on lore-wise. Baraka has always kind of been a jobber, if we're being honest. Like, he really didn't have much going for him until recently we kind of gave him something. In this movie, he kind of takes a comedic route, like he's making jokes and stuff with Johnny Cage. He does have a pretty cool fight scene, but I don't know. I feel like him being super jokey doesn't really fit his character. He's never been like, in my opinion, a super jokey guy. And they kind of make him like, oh yeah, he's like gullible Tarkatan guy. You know, I don't love that interpretation of him. But let's talk about some of the cool things. The fights, bro. The fights are so good. The fights in this movie are so good. Kung Lao versus Liu Kang is one of the best animated fights. One of the best choreographed fights I've ever seen, bro. It is so, the effects on Kung Lao's abilities, the teleport, the hat, the constant use of the hat, the bro, the effects on some of his stuff just look so good. The effects on Liu Kang's flames, Liu Kang was going crazy. He was going absolutely crazy in this movie. That's what makes me mad about that. It's like, Liu Kang is clearly, in this movie, he's clearly stronger than Shao Kahn, right? He fights Shao Kahn multiple times. He is literally beating Shao Kahn's ass throughout this entire movie. Throughout this entire movie, every time Shao Kahn and Liu Kang interact, Liu Kang is burning this motherfucker. He is whooping his ass. Obviously, he's immortal. He's not gonna die. So yeah, I really love the fight scenes. There's some cool stuff in here. Cole. Let's talk about Cole, because everybody's gonna wonder, because I haven't talked about him yet. What happens to Cole? Where the hell is Cole? Is Cole in this movie? Cole really ain't in this movie like that. I'm gonna be honest. Cole has like maybe like 3 minutes tops in this movie. He has some little talking scenes. He is not the primary focus. He loses to Shao Kahn very early in this movie. So they have gotten rid of the Cole character. I actually like the actor that plays Cole, and I really, really, really want him to play Kenshi. I think he'd be a great Kenshi, but yeah, Cole is gone. But the Cole versus Shao Kahn fight was pretty cool. It takes place at the acid, is it called Acid Bath or something? What is that stage called at MK2? Is it Acid Bath? Something acid, but the acid stage, it takes place there. And the cinematography in this movie is so great because they do some things where when people are about to fight, sometimes you'll see the screen kind of like open, like it'll be the black bars will be there and it'll kind of open like it's starting the intro to a fight. And then like the Cole versus Shao Kahn fight, the perspective of the fight is like 2D. So just cool little camera tricks like that. It's just shot extremely well, bro. It is shot extremely well. I probably could have talked about that in a non-spoiler review, but I want all of this to be a surprise to people. I want people who are watching this movie to come in and just be shocked by a lot of the things that happen. But they do a lot of small things there to be like, oh yeah, that's cool. Look at that angle. Like, look at this, like the 2D Mortal Kombat 2, like just cool stuff like that. And the Jade actor, I thought did great. People were criticizing her because she was bald. I thought she did great as the Jade character. She did a fine job. Like I said, I think the star of the movie is, I think the Shao Kahn actor, but he is literally Shao Kahn. I think Liu Kang's actor did great. But honestly, this movie doesn't have a lot of acting. As strange as it's, this movie is literally throwing hands. Everybody's throwing hands all the time. I thought the Shiva versus not Shiva, Jesus. Why did I say she? The Sonya versus Sindel fight took place at the pit. I thought that was pretty great. That was a great fight, bro. Honestly, every single fight was great. Jax versus Jade was incredible. Noob versus Scorpion was incredible. Kano coming back, I thought was a bit weird. Only because it feels like he only came back just because they wanted comedic relief. I don't think Kano should have died in the first movie, so I understand the whole concept to bring him back. But Quan Chi is a character where I feel like he doesn't shine a lot in the movie. When you see Quan Chi, he's reviving Kung Lao. He's reviving and making Sindel revenants and stuff. He's basically Quan Chi is there to make revenants, and you don't really learn much about Quan Chi. You don't really get much into this character. And at the end of the movie, Quan Chi is captured by Kano, which makes absolutely zero sense because Quan Chi will wash Kano. So I thought that I feel like Quan Chi had a very weak showing, especially since as the story, when you continue the Mortal Kombat story, Quan Chi kind of becomes a pseudo main villain. Like he's the catalyst for Shinnok coming and stuff like that. So there's a period where Quan Chi is like, hey, I'm the main guy. You have Deadly Alliance, Quan Chi and Shang Tsung. Yeah, Mortal Kombat 4, Quan Chi reviving Shinnok. So he is really a caveat for a lot of the big villains. And it feels like he doesn't come across as strong. He's there for people to make fun of him. And it just feels a bit off. Overall, I think this movie was fun. I love the fights in this movie. I think they handled the fights extremely well. If you're coming into this movie and you just want a good time watching some cool Mortal Kombat fights, this is the movie for you. If you're coming in expecting some strong, elaborate retelling of the Mortal Kombat story, you likely will not find it in this movie. But this movie has some cool stuff in it. I have fun. I don't like to give movie scores or anything like that because I feel like a score can be misinterpreted so wrong by so many people. My thing is, I just recommend you to go see this movie and don't think too hard about it. Enjoy the fights, enjoy the references, enjoy how cool the game, enjoy how cool the movie actually looks. I enjoyed myself. It was fun.